Hi guys, welcome to day 4 of lesson 23. Today we are going to start off with our white arrow, and our white arrow says, I can tell the beginning, middle, and ending sounds in short words. So I'm going to give you guys a word here in a sec, and we're going to look at that middle sound again, and then we're going to change that middle sound. Okay, think about my word, and when my finger slides under, tell me what the word is. Middle sound is, and is that a short sound or a long sound vowel? Okay, and then we're going to change that middle sound to saying the sound this week, okay? So think about that middle sound saying and when I slide my finger under, tell me the new word. Okay? Okay, next one. When I slide my finger under, tell me the word. Middle sound says, and is that a short sound or a long sound? Okay, and now we're going to change that middle sound to saying the sound. So my new word will be, okay, my next word, think about it. Middle sound says, and is that a short vowel sound or a long vowel sound? Okay, and then change my middle sound to saying the sound. So my new word will be, and then your last one, think about my word. Middle sound says, and then we are going to change that middle sound to saying the sound. So think about it, and my new word will be. All right, we are going to move on to our purple arrow. Our purple arrow says, I can tell how words are used in real life. Your real life words for this week are accent, behave, gooey, siesta, sizzling, and translated. So one more time, it's accent, behave, gooey, siesta, sizzling, and translated. We're going to talk about a few of these words real quick, and I'm going to ask you some questions about them. Okay, so what are you doing if you are taking a siesta? So in our story, the little girl took a siesta when she was sleepy. So what are you doing when you take a siesta? And try to use that word siesta in your response. So talk with someone sitting next to you at home. And what are you doing if you are taking a siesta? Okay? And then, can you make a sizzling sound? So our next word is sizzling. If you were to make a sizzling sound, and we talked about how food, when it's really hot, it makes a sizzling sound. What does that sizzling sound like? Make a sizzling sound with someone sitting next to you. Okay? And then our last one we're going to talk about, what did someone who translated a language do? So in our story, the little girl was speaking Spanish, and then she translated it. What are you doing if you are translating? Okay, so what would someone do? What did someone who translated a language do? So if someone was translating a language, what did they do? Okay, so one more time. What would you be doing if you took a siesta? Make a sizzling sound for me. And what would you be doing if you translated a language? Okay, take a moment if you haven't yet. Talk about those 3 words and those questions that I just gave you. And then when you're done, pause the video, grab yourself a piece of scratch paper, and you are going to write yourself a 1-star, 2-star, or a 3-star sentence using one of our words that you have not used yet this week. Okay, and then when you're done, snap a picture of that and send your sentence to Ms. Coggins or I. Okay, so your words one more time. Accent, behave, gooey, siesta, sizzling, or translated. Talk about those 3 words I asked you questions about, and then pick yourself one of those words to use in a sentence for me. Don't forget to start with a capital, end with a period, and put your finger spaces in between your words. Okay, next we're going to move on to our gray arrow. Our gray arrow says, I can read first grade words that aren't spelt the way they sound. Okay, since we are in day 4, we're going to start looking into some of those words that are going to be our words for next week. Okay, so we're going to introduce some of those words that are going to be new for next week. So ready, country, soil, kinds. One more time. They are ready, country, soil, kinds. First one, think about it. Spell it for me. And say it again. Perfect. Next one. Think about it. Spell it. And say it again. Okay, next one. Spell it and say it again. And our last one. Spell it and say it again. Okay, on our next page, I am just going to give you a few minutes and I want you to, when I finger swipes under, I want you to tell me the word, okay? And if you have problems, these first two rows are some of our new words for next week. These last two rows are words we practiced for this week, okay? So if you do not know them, pause it, do it again. Okay, next up, we're going to move on to our red arrow. And our red arrow says, I can put sounds together to speak words. Our sound for this week is O-O, saying that sound. Okay, and then we also practice with our syllables, remember, which are parts of a word. Okay, I am going to show you a new card that is going to be our sounds for next week. Okay, so we're going to start practicing some of those sounds for next week. These sounds are tricky. Okay, I'm going to warn you. I've got a lot of sounds on here and they're all going to say the exact same sound. Also, if you've noticed, we had O-O this week, but when we had O-O this week, we talked about O-O saying that sound. When it's on this card, it's going to say a different sound. It's going to say ooh, okay? All of these sounds are going to say that ghostly sound, okay? Like if you were a ghost, you would say that ooh sound, okay? So these are all our ghostly sounds, okay? So that's what makes it tricky though, is because we practiced this week O-O saying but now on this card it's going to say that ooh sound, that ghostly sound. We also practiced the U consonant E, okay? When it was on our uniform card, we said it said ooh or U. So here's that ooh sound that we have practiced, okay, on that uniform card. So here we go. Card is moon, sound ooh, spelling O-O. Card ooh, spelling E-W. Card ooh, spelling U-E. Card ooh, spelling O-U. Sound ooh, spelling U, and sound ooh, spelling U, consonant E. Here we go, your turn. Card, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling. Okay, and then a review of some sounds, okay? My card says cook. My sound is spelling O-O. Your turn. Card, sound, spelling. Card is bird. Sound is spelling I-R. Sound spelling E-R. Sound spelling U-R. Your turn. Card, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling. Next one, card orange, sound or, spelling O-R. Sound or, spelling O-R-E. Your turn. Card, sound, spelling, sound, spelling. Okay, and my last one, card is artist, sound R, spelling A-R. Your turn. Card, sound, spelling. Okay, and then onto our sound drill. I'm going to do each row for you first, and then you are going to copy me. So we've got some sounds that are going to say more than one sound on this because we practiced O-O saying two sounds so far. Okay, so here we go. O-O is going to say or ooh. R, ooh, Your turn. Two sounds. Okay, next row. Ooh, or, ooh, Your turn. Okay, sound. Two sounds. Okay, we've practiced this one saying the short sound or ooh. So or ooh, e or ooh or Okay, I'll do that one more time because I know it's getting tricky. Ooh, e, ooh, Your turn. First sound, second sound. First sound, second sound. First sound, second sound, sound. Okay, or, ooh, ooh. Your turn. Okay, perfect. Okay, then we're going to move on to that black arrow. That black arrow says, I can read out loud like a teacher. Okay, I'm going to move in and do some sound by sound with you guys. So follow along. And we're going to be doing some new sounds for next week. So we're going to be practicing those ghostly sounds in this word, okay? So sound. Okay, the ghost sound for O-O. So it's going to say ooh. Sound. And put it together. And one more time. Okay, next one. A blend to start us off. So these two letters are going to say. And our new ghostly sound. Put it together. One more time. Okay, sound. And our new ghostly sound. Put it together. One more time. Sound. Our ghost sound. Put it together. Sound. Put it together. Okay, and this word also has an E at the end, but it doesn't make that noise, okay? It doesn't make a sound. So my word is, one more time, sound. And my new ghost sound, put it together. One more time. Okay, we've got a blend again, so put those two sounds together. My ghost sound, put it together. And my last sound, put it together. And my word is, a sound, ghost sound, put it together. And my word is, okay, last one, sound, ghost sound, put it together. And then I'm going to throw on a suffix. Okay, ing is going to say, and put that whole word together. One more time. Okay, practice those words if you need to before we move on to our next set, because you're going to see some of these words again along with some others. And remember, our goal is to read these like a teacher, so trying to read them without sounding them out eventually is your goal. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a little time. And when my finger slides under, tell me the word. Remember, these are going to be our first two rows are going to be our new ghostly ooh sound. Okay, here we go. Hey, remember when we have an apostrophe S, what does that mean on this? Okay, down here, this OO is going to say that sound from this week that we've been practicing, okay, on our cook card. Okay, again, take some time to practice those if you really need to before we move on to our story, okay? So I do want those words in your head like a teacher. Okay, we're gonna move on to our story for this week, which is called Big Problem. So you're either reading this with me right now or you're finding it on Think Central and reading it by yourself, and make sure you're reading it those 3 times. Okay, Ray is a boy. He has a dog. Ray's dog is Dennis. Dennis had problems that began when he was just a pup. Read this story, read this page in your head, and pause when you need more time, remember. Okay, and then follow with my finger. And then read that out loud like a teacher one more time. Dennis was much too big to fit in his dog bed. It was a problem. Dennis needs a big bed, said Ray. Yes, Dennis needs a big bed. Practice that page in your head. Follow along with my finger. And then read it in your head like a teacher one more time. Ray gave Dennis big, soft yellow pillows. Did Dennis like his yellow bed? Dennis did. It was big, it was nice and soft. Better yet, it was big. Practice this page in your head. Follow along with my finger. And read it out loud like a teacher one more time. As Dennis got big, his problems got big as well. It was hard for Ray to take Dennis for a walk. This is a problem, said Ray. It is a big problem. Okay, practice that page in your head. Follow along with my finger. And then read it out loud like a teacher one more time. So Ray began to ride on, not walk, with Dennis. Did Dennis like this? Dennis did. Did Ray like this? Ray did like it. Dad did too. No problem, said Ray. Practice that page in your head. Follow along with my finger. And then read it out loud like a teacher one more time. As Dennis got big, so did his problems. When Dennis stood up, he did not fit in his doghouse. You need a big doghouse, said Ray. Practice that page in your head for me. Follow along with my finger. And then read it out loud like a teacher one more time for me. We can make a big house for Dennis, said Dad. So Ray, his sister, and his dad made a big house for Dennis. Practice that page in your head. Follow with my finger. Read with my finger. And read it out loud like a teacher one more time. Dennis and Ray can fit in the big house. Dennis likes that. Ray likes it too. Dennis and Ray like to be together. No problem, said Ray. Practice that page in your head for me, please. Follow along with my finger. And then read that like a teacher one more time. Okay, we're going to move on to our yellow arrow. Our yellow arrow says, I can use sight words and spelling patterns to help me spell words correctly. You are going to need yourself a piece of scratch paper and a pencil. So find yourself a piece of scratch paper and a pencil to write with. And we are going to use these sounds in our words today, okay? So we're going to use that O-O saying ugh, okay? So your first one, wood. Think about your beginning sound in wood. Middle sound, ending sound. I will chop me some wood. Think about the word wood, beginning sound, middle sound, ending sound. Okay, next one is nook. A nook is a little corner in your room. Nook. I have a reading nook. Think about your beginning sound. This is your middle sound and your ending sound. Nook is the word. Okay. Next one, shook. I shook my card. Shook. Beginning sound. This is your middle sound. And what's your ending sound going to be? Shook. So beginning sound, think about it. This is your middle sound. And then what's your ending sound going to be in the word shook? Okay. And then our last one is brook. Okay. I have a babbling brook. A brook is like a little river, a little stream. Brook. Think about your beginning sound. This is your middle sound, and then your ending sound, brook. Okay, and then we are going to move on and we are going to do our brown arrow today. Okay, so our brown arrow says, I can find things that are the same and different in two nonfiction books about the same thing. Okay, our story this week isn't nonfiction though. Our story this week is a realistic fiction story. Our Whistle for Willie story is a realistic fiction story, okay? But I am going to read you our second story for this week, which is called Pet Poems. Okay, you can find this story, remember, on Think Central. Okay, so this is our second story, Pet Poems. When I'm done, we are going to talk about things that make these two stories the same and different. Okay, so Pet Poems. This poem began as a folk song. Read it along with your class, then sing it together. So our first one is called Bingo, and I know you guys know the song, so you can go ahead and you can sing along with me. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Okay, can someone over here, if you can read in Spanish, this poem right here is in Spanish, and I know I do have some Spanish readers. So if you can read in Spanish, you can practice reading that one in Spanish. You can also do it with your Spanish accent. Remember, accent is one of our vocabulary words this week. But down here is the poem translated. Translated is also one of our words this week, our vocabulary words. Okay, so they translated this poem into English. So from Spanish down to English. I'm going to read the English version because I'm much better at reading in English than I am in Spanish. Little white horse. Little horse, white as snow, take me where I long to go. Take me to the port by the sea where I was born and long to be. Okay, and then our last poem this week is called Pet Snake. No trace of fuzz, no bit of fur, no growling bark, no gentle purr, no cozy cuddle, no sloppy kiss. All he really does is hiss. Okay, so all of those poems were kind of rhyming poems this week. They had rhyming words in them. Okay, or they kind of made it be a little bit of a where you feel like you need to sing it to say the word. Okay, they had a little bit of a beat to them. Okay, so I want you to think about, this is our pet poem story, and this is our main story for this week, The Whistle with Willie. of our two stories, what is something that made our two stories the same? Okay, so what is something that made Whistle for Willie and Pet Poems the same? What is something that made them the same? So talk with someone sitting next to you. And what is something that made our two stories the same this week? Okay, and then after you're talking about that, what's something that made our two stories different? What made Whistle for Willie different than Pet Poems? Okay, so what made these two stories the same? So talking about this, and what made these two stories different? Okay, when you're done chatting about what made our two stories the same and what made our two stories different, remember these are your assignments for today. You must read this, either read it with me on this video or on your own in Think Central. Okay, you need to make sure you do a 3-star, a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star sentence using one of those vocabulary words from back at the beginning of this video. Then you also need to make sure that you find your story Pet Poems on Think Central, because that is another read that you must do for today. Okay, so you've got those things that you must do today. Read this story, okay? Show me and send a picture of your 1-star, 2-star, 3-star sentence to Miss Coggins or I, because that is your second must do. Third must do, you will have 2 worksheets this week today, and you must read your story, Pet Poems, okay? And that can be found on Think Central, remember. Okay, hope you guys have a good day, and that is the end of your day 4.